Ah, is it better? Can you hear me now? And hopefully you'll be able to hear the game audio as well. Is that all coming through now? Hey. Right, just said hi, welcome along. We are out in Wyoming at the minute. This is my new house, my garage off to the right. Over here we've got ourselves a little greenhouse, and that little green hut is a little log burner. Sorry guys, I didn't realise the audio wasn't going through earlier, but all better now. So we haven't got much here at the minute. Ah dear, sorry, I forgot to turn the screen back on again. It's complicated this, there's lots of things to look at in one go. Right, I'll start from the start then. So up here we've got my garage on the right hand side. House right in front of me. And across here we've got ourselves a nice little greenhouse. So it's actually a custom greenhouse I think that CJ's done for these maps, as the fruit grows on the outside of it as well. And the little green tin hut here is actually a log sell point, which works as a little log burner for the house. So that's quite cool. Go down here into the main yard. We have horses. Well, we have a horse at the minute. Just the one in there, quite happy. It's got a bit of water in the trough. I think there's a few oats and maybe a little bit of alfalfa or hay for it to eat as well. And across here, you see we've actually got some really nice big storage bins. These came on the map. I just left them as they were. Some of the equipment, or most of the equipment, might not have changed because I kind of prefer to start off with very little or nothing. And in here I think we've got 2 or 3 Angus cows. So we've got a little bit of livestock to look after right now. And not much in the line of anything else at all right at the minute. I'm kind of playing it as if I've taken over an old abandoned farm type thing. There's been some machinery left around. You see I've got an old combine. It's an old, what is it, an old Forst is it? Or Bison? It's an old Bison. A little classic John Deere tractor. A small tractor. And mowers, that kind of things. Yeah, Judy, I think I've wanted this map to play on this map now for quite a while. But CJ's been doing an update to it to get alfalfa and other things working on it as well. So I've really held off for about 2 to 3 months from playing it. So I thought now would be a good chance, now that the version 2 has come out. Because it would have meant a new save game if I had started in 1 and then tried to play on the next one. So I thought I would leave it and see what version 2 is like. Now across here as well is something interesting, got off Mod Hub. It's actually a log splitter. Now out the front entrance of the farm I've placed a log sell point for this piece of equipment. So hopefully I can do some log splitting and a little bit of stuff like that. But at the minute, let's take a little look and see what we actually have here. I was going to have to see it for us. Right, so animals wise we have 7 cattle. So we've got some very new young calves and 4 fairly mature ones, 18 months. They've got a little bit of hay in there, 4,000 hay. We need to give them some more water. And we have 1 horse. I've never done horses before in FS22, so I don't quite know what I'm going to do with them. But we'll play about and see what happens. So there will be lime, weeds and all that kind of stuff as well. So if I bring up that menu, you can see what I have on here. And is it this one or is it this one? Never remember what menu it is. There we go, we've got crop destruction on, we've got periodic plowing, we've got stones, we've got lime, we've got weeds, we've got everything at the minute. I haven't put precision farming onto this one, just because still having complications with it on no man's land. Can never quite figure out if I've fertilised enough, limed enough, all that kind of stuff. So I've decided just to turn it off again on this until I kind of figure out exactly what's happening with it. Plus it's a little bit of a kind of a start from scratchy type one, this as well. So that's where we're at with this. equipment wise, if I bring up the menu, you'll see just what we have here. So, little tractor, it's an old John Deere. We've got ourselves an old harvester. I've got my nice big shiny pickup truck, we've just seen that. We've got the automatic loading trailer that I've used everywhere because it's just fantastic and I really like it. So this is our mower that we have here. It's a drag behind mower. What size is it? It's not too big, 4 meters. So we'll be using that for a bit as well. Our log splitter, we've got an old water tanker that was left on the farm, along with the front loader bag lifter as well. The back half of the pickup that we've got so far is just a normal bog standard flatbed type thing. Cool. So let's jump in the John Deere for now. Get her started up. And off we go. Got one with a nice front loader on it. You'll probably recognise it's the same bucket than what I'm using on the vintage farming map as well. I've just painted this one green. It's quite a good little bucket because it comes with the integrated forks. You can pop forks out and stuff like that, so you can do bale handling with it as well. So I do like that one. 2,000 litre capacity as well. Now the main part of my farm, if I stick the mini map up, you'll see it's actually out here. Don't own by any means all of this, but it's pretty much out to the tree line, give or take. So it's roughly where you come off this little path. If we hang a left across to here, so everything on the left hand side of the screen at the minute then is pretty much mine up to the mountainside. So a lot of grass down there that I don't own, and the existing field's not mine. Yeah, sure, I'll stick up a weekly schedule. It generally was always going to be vintage farming Saturday and Sunday, and then Wednesday. Everything else was no man's land. Things got a bit messed up this week just because I ran out of time to get a couple of videos up. And then I thought I may as well start this Wyoming series as well. But yeah, I'll work out a schedule and get that up as well. So this is really our patch of ground here at the minute. There is a nice little pasture right behind the house as well, but it's quite small. But first things first, I'm going to have to get myself a subsoiler sorted out, things like that, and get myself a field made in here. I don't think I actually have a subsoiler at the minute. I'll have to double check that. Streaming will probably be around about this time, predominantly on Tuesdays. Just depends how it all goes, really. And looking in here, no, I don't think I have a subsoiler. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, let's hook up the mower, get across there and see how we go on with this. I haven't used this mower before. I'm hoping there should be enough power in this tractor to do it. I haven't got a tether or anything like that yet as well, so I'm going to have to sort something like that out. And not an awful lot of cash either. Right, before we start off with this, I'll just give us 2 seconds and I will be right back. Right, that's better, so I just had to go and get a drink. Cheers, thanks for that. I'm enjoying making the content. It's been good fun. And let me see, so I need to unfold this one. There's no swathing or anything like that available with it, so it's just going to be a case of lowering and mowing. I don't want to make this an all a series about grass, 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 because it seems to be every single series that I do just has an awful lot of grass work in it. There we go. This will help me figure out just where my boundary is as well. So if I swing around here and get myself on a... It's going to be a 90-degree bearing. Then I'll actually know where my land extends out to. So just trying to get myself squared up. Somewhere there should look good. Yeah, it's about 90 degrees. So do you have a preference on this series at the minute as well? You like in No Man's Land or Vintage Farming, or which one are you liking the most? Numbers seem to be down a little bit on Vintage Farming at the minute. Oh, I'm off my land again. I'll just go on to the map and have a little look and see. Yeah, so it kind of looks like it goes around this mountain edge. Okay, so we'll just take it at a bit of a jagged line. There we go, we're back in again. I'm hoping I'll have a few of these trees on my property line so that I can get some easy money and get my log splitter into action. I'm pretty sure I definitely have some of them at least. I had a little play about with the log splitter earlier on. It's really good. Takes a little bit of setting up, but it definitely seemed to work well. Wow, this is going to be actually quite a large spot of land here. Right, see you later, mate. Have a good night. Alright guys, well this is pretty much half an hour up. This was only a little test stream to kind of see how it all worked, how I get OBS working, how I get the game streaming, etc. And just to see how it all went together. Pretty much at the end of this little paddock mowing part now as well. So I'm going to call it quits for this, just so I can see the video, see what it comes out like, get the settings and stuff squared away. I may end up restarting this one as a new time lapse on this map, just because thinking about some of the fields and some of the things that I want to do here as well. I'm not quite sure if the equipment I have is going to be sufficient for it. I see a few people dropping in now as well, so I was just saying bye there, but if there's a few people I can stick around for a bit yet. But yeah, I'll probably come back to this map in a proper little time-lapse series, as I want to do it properly and I want to do lots of stuff on it. There's stone mining, there's gold mining, there's alfalfa, there's loads of really good stuff that is built into this map. And it just seems to be very diverse, very different. It's a bit of a cross between a no man's land prairie type map, but it comes with certain infrastructure, fields, sell points, etc. So I think it'll be a good one to do. A little bit, I don't want to make it too repetitive though. If I go and buy a bit of forestry, then I'm just cutting down trees all the time, or doing the likes of this where I'm just sailing around cutting grass. I just think it gets too much if you're doing it time after time after time. So let us know what you want. If you want something that kind of goes like no man's land again, like a start from scratch type thing and you build it up, or if you'd prefer where I start off with a bit more kit and equipment and kind of just farm the land, or maybe do something a bit more diverse. Anything's doable and it's all done for fun, so it's just a good way to spend the evening running around mowing a paddock of hay. Yeah, very good, Carl. Are you all up to date now? I can't remember what it is, 112 episodes I think we're up to now. I think I just uploaded 112 for going live with tomorrow. So yeah, there's been an awful lot of progression on that map ever since we started. It's come a very long way. It's almost getting too big and too busy now that it's kind of hard to keep up with everything. Whenever we're in between the planting season and the harvest season, there's stuff to do, but there's not that much. But then whenever we get into harvesting or into the planting season, it's just too manic to almost do. So I'm not too sure where I'm going to go on no man's land. I still have a few things left that I want to do, and the episode you'll see tomorrow actually was a bit of an accidental. Well, you'll see whenever it comes to it, but. Yeah, another thing was built. The farm grows a little bit more every time. But yeah, because I think potentially this map could be a lot of repetitive type stuff, so a lot of repetitive logging, mowing, doing some quarry work, that kind of stuff. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to do this as a time-lapse series. So I'll restart it, I'll reset the map after tonight's episode and kind of introduce it in properly. I'll probably add in a little bit more equipment. I don't want to be bringing in anything too big right enough, but I just want to showcase a few other mods and stuff like that that's out there as well. Because I do like doing the small start from scratch, start with nothing type things. But I kind of feel like I've got that in vintage farming, I've got that in no man's land, and it's hard then to showcase all the other good alternative stuff, because you want to end up, you can't afford to go out and buy the good equipment, so you're kind of tied to having to buy the same things every time, and then it just makes it very repetitive for everybody, including myself. So yeah, so I might go out, reset this one, get myself some other equipment in that I'm keen to show, or just keen to try myself, mods that I haven't been able to try yet, and restart as a proper time-lapse series. Have you tried the vintage farming series, Carl, as well? Yeah, it's a good idea. Period of 80s, 90s. Um, Probably my biggest problem with that is I don't really know what machinery belongs to what period. I wouldn't be clued up enough to know whether the tractor I'm buying is from the 1980s, 90s, 2010s, whatever. No, give it a whirl, Carl. It's very similar to No Man's Land. It's a bit of a start from scratch, but it comes on an established farm this time. But again, it's using kind of more vintage machinery, so probably using 70s, 80s period machinery, I would say. Maybe even 60s, some of it. But it's really just made as a small scale farm. I'm playing it in hard economy as well, so that's quite a challenge. Um, I'm playing it in hard in this one because the map came with all the sell points, etc., built into the town. Now, I've always found it a little bit weird that, in order to sell wool to the spinnery, you have to own the spinnery. That's not how it works in real life. You don't have to own every business that you want to sell a product to. So before I started that one, I went ahead and bought everything on the map so that I could sell to it. But then that gives you a bit of a false economy, because then the productions make quite a bit of money. So I'm using the productions, but whenever you play it on hard mode, I feel it kind of evens itself out a little bit more. So on the vintage one, I did a crop of sugar beets, which generally they are a good paying crop, but it's a fair bit of work and whatnot, and sugar beet itself doesn't make an awful lot, especially not on hard economy. But because I was able to sell it off to the sugar plant, then I'm making a decent amount of money. Nowhere near what I've been making on the likes of No Man's Land or on easy economy. But because it's on hard mode, I didn't have to buy the plant. It actually kind of works out fairly good, I think. Yeah, some of the ones I have on No Man's Land is a bit ridiculous. I think at one stage the BGA was making me £250,000 a month, or maybe even an episode. I can't remember now. But yeah, it was pulling in ridiculous amounts of money. So you're kind of tempted to want to keep using the BGA, but then it just means having to mow grass all the time. And again, that's just boring and repetitive for everyone. But yeah, I've been watching some series, and I was keen to get like the donut plant and things like that. But then I saw how much money the donuts were bringing in, and it's like £10,000 a pallet, and it's spawning several pallets every day. So it just seemed like it was a bit over egged really for me. So I didn't want to go down with that one. Yeah, there's a Hessian fermenter on the vintage map that I do on Fruling, so that's quite good because I've got a small field that I've kind of now split up in between grass and crops, but it's really good for mowing a small grass crop off and then converting into silage and selling on to the BGA. There's going to be a lot of grass to lift in this one as well. Yeah, it does hay as well. Definitely, I've used it for the. Oh yeah, it's in the No Man's Land one. You'll see a grass silage hay fermenter and stuff coming on as well. It's quite good that you can dry hay in it. You add a little bit of straw into it as well, into the grass, so it gives you hay out, and it's a bit more realistic. So it's not just converting grass straight into hay and not kind of consuming anything. Just a pity it doesn't use something that uses a bit of diesel or uses wood pellets or some kind of a fuel source. Yeah, I'm hoping the cows on No Man's Land will kind of break things up a little bit now as well. Considering getting some pigs as well. Pigs just do require quite a bit of work, or well, it's not quite a bit of work, it's quite a lot of grain types, I think. And I think the way people have actually worked it out, you're better off, not actually using your grains to make animal feed. You should just buy in the pig food or the TMR and sell off your crops. It's more profitable that way. But I kind of want to grow the crops that I'm selling or feeding to my own animals, rather than just going out and buying 20 bags of stuff every time. Just seems a little bit bleh. You mean the ones that kind of like make the pig food and the TMR, that kind of grain mill? Yeah. Yeah, I have seen a couple of them. Yeah, it's definitely one I've considered as well. If we go down the route of pigs, I probably will get something like that. But eventually I kind of want to have all the animals. I haven't had any horses yet. There is a horse on this map, just purely because I'm interested to see what they do. They were quite good on FS19, because you could buy them in fairly cheap, keep them, just feed them hay and oats. If you have the horse helper mod installed, which I have got the equivalent of on this one, you don't actually have to really do anything with them. And then at the end of it, they were worth like £50,000 in FS19. I'm pretty sure they're not so overpowered in this one. I was doing Calmton as well, but I had to kind of abandon that series. That and the Obeleron one that I was on as well, because just unfortunately viewer numbers were dipping so much every time that I put out an episode of it. People obviously just weren't particularly interested in it. It's happened the last couple of episodes of Vintage Farming as well. The numbers have really dipped down. Not quite sure why, because I was getting quite a few good comments on it, and people were enjoying it and were liking it, and the series is making progression. But yeah, the last couple of ones have just really struggled to get viewers on. How are you getting on with Calmston yourself? What all have you got on it? Cheers, thanks for that. I enjoy making the content, and you know, I would be playing it whether I'm recording it or not, so I figure I may as well record it, keep putting it out. The channel's growing, numbers are going up kind of thing, but I am not too worried about the numbers. I do it because I enjoy doing it. I'm not too sure what way I'm going to do this one. I'm quite tempted. I'm just sitting here thinking about the kind of things I'll do on this one. There's a really good little area on it. It's called Burnt Ridge. And it's a little forested area, but it's got loads of old, dead, burnt out trees on it. There's quite a few trees on it, so it would take a bit of time to clear it. But it would generate an awful lot of money. I think logs would be worth quite a lot, and there's, I don't know how many trees are in there, but a good few lorry loads. Yeah, I watched a bit of one of those videos at the start because I was really interested in this map. As I said, I've been waiting for version 2, this version of it, to come out, so I didn't have to start a new save game. So I was thinking of going up to the Burnt Ridge and kind of taking it on as a little contract type thing. So rather than kind of saving up to buy the land, etc., I would buy the land in the background, but officially not own it. But then every time I wanted to go up to use it or something, I was going to like charge myself $5,000 to go up, access to the ground, to do some logging, that kind of thing. And then once I've cleared the little ridge out, I can come back down, spend the money on the farmyard, things like that. There's a stone quarry as well, and using the terraforming mod, you can go in there, use the debris crusher to mulch up some stones. Just things like that, really, something a bit different. But yeah, just don't want to make it so every episode is just me cutting down trees all the time. That's going to get a bit hard for people to watch. Yeah, yeah. I don't think the entire area, if you mean the entire forest. The Burnt Ridge part, possibly. Yeah, yeah. I would see that as in you take on a contract to clear out all the burnt trees and replant that area, and then eventually it'll grow back again. That would be quite a good one to do, but it would involve a fair bit of forestry work. But then I could turn that into a Forestry Friday episode, that type of thing. Where I'm just mixing it up, and then it would eventually, I don't know, convert into Stonework Saturday, something like that, as I move down into the quarry. Um, and then, I don't know, Farm Friday we're back to then. Yeah, I quite like whenever people do forestry and stuff on it. I used to watch Virtual Farmer. He used to do Forestry Fridays. I really enjoyed it, but he always struggled to get numbers of viewers to watch it as well and things like that. So I haven't tried it. I haven't been too keen to because, well, numbers are fairly small on my channel anyway, and I don't get a lot of viewers. But then I suppose that's maybe a good enough time to just say, well, stuff it. If I want to do it, then I should do it anyway. Um, I'm not going to get tons of viewers anyway, so may as well just do something I want to do myself. Right, well that's a bit of work done on this one. Unfortunately, I don't have a windrower and I don't have a forage wagon or anything like that on the map yet. So I've no way of picking all this grass up that I've just cut. But as I was saying, this was really only a bit of a test play around tonight just to check out the streaming. I want to get offline, see how this video actually saves as well, and what the quality's like, what the sound's like, any drop frames, all this kind of stuff. So it was a bit of a test stream. I'll probably end up resetting this map back to where it was, get my equipment back to what I want. I'll bring in a few other bits of stuff I think now that I've had a little bit of a play around with it and just see what exactly I need. I'll probably keep this, I like this little tractor, it's a good tractor. The log splitter in the back, I definitely want to keep that and play about with that. The old style combine, yeah, I think it's fitting. The only other one would be the likes of the Dutzfar or the New Holland, was it TX35, but you see them all the places, so I like sticking to the unknown mods really. Right, but I think it's going to have to be pretty much it for tonight. So I've been on a bit longer. I was only really intending on being on for about 30 minutes or so. But quite good. We got up to 33 views. That's certainly more than I was expecting. So cheers, guys. Thanks for the support. Sorry you couldn't see me or hear me at the start of it. Trying to get used how to use OBS and push the wrong buttons. That was my fault. So we will learn that for next time. Right. Everyone have a good night. And I will see you again shortly. Cheers and bye now.